Hey, Soul Warriors, reality shifting can feel like walking through fire. Right when you're about to break through, it is the hardest. And most people quit without ever knowing or understanding the pure simplicity behind it. So let's explore the stages of a big shift, why it gets so tough, and the one simple truth that can change everything for you. I'm so really excited to talk about this topic this week just because we've both in the last, I don't know, it's probably been a week, 2 weeks now, gone through a big reality shift ourselves. And I'll tell you, it hard doesn't even
It wasn't
describe
pretty.
it. It was not
It was
pretty.
not pretty at all.
It was messy. It felt tragic.
Yep.
It felt like I'm just taking my stuff and going home because I'm not doing this anymore. This is the last time I'm gonna try this.
Yep.
Like little kid pouting.
Yep. Pivoting is a must, and we're sitting in a lot of resistance.
Yeah.
On top of that.
Because pivoting feels super scary when the world is super scary right
Yeah.
now.
One little thing can just absolutely snowball in either direction. And I know that for us, we've been struggling a lot with some of the changes that are happening that we want to happen, but at the same time, it doesn't feel comfortable in our skin. It doesn't have that energy that we're used to and things like that. So we're just kind of leaning into it, like we tell you guys to do, to lean into that discomfort and see what unfolds. And that's kind of where we're at right now, energy wise, and what things are unfolding for us.
Yeah, so when you get to that point where you're like, fuck it, I'm going to give up. Like, fuck the relationship, fuck the job, whatever it is. When you get to that point, really, if you can, take a step back because the shift happened for us when we were distracted. We had a big financial thing came up, so I was like busy on that. She had a family member that was having major crazy surgery. So we were both in this distracted state, which was good because it kept us from the micromanaging of it, the worrying of it, the trying to control it. So it actually had the space to allow itself to unfold. And then when it started to unfold, we were like, but I'm over here dealing with this and I'm over here dealing with that. But here's this beautiful present on a platter that we've been asking for. And it's like, okay, you take a really deep breath. And can you dive in and can you take that risk and can you step out of your comfort zone regardless of what the world around you feels like and looks like? Because internally you're like, yeah, that's it. That's fucking it. But all this stuff. So how can you like get those blinders instead of the blinders of what's going wrong all the time? How can you put those blinders on like, here's the thing. Here's the thing, and I'm going to say yes to it right now. I don't know how it's going to work. I can't even fathom it because so much is happening, but here it is.
I think it's the one time where we actually say it's okay to put those blinders on.
Yes.
Because you need to be so laser focused in at the end goal so that you can make all the right decisions based upon what you're looking for. And I know that for me during that time, you and I were having a conversation. I was driving to a family member, and we were making decisions and really isolating some of the things that we're looking to create. And I remember listening to her talk and trying to make decisions and deciding, as like all of a sudden I got this rush, this rush of emotions and all these things. But at the same time, it kind of landed in like, okay, this is our time to step forward as a team, where we've been working from individual places, looking to end up in the same place.
Right.
And I think that for the first time, we were just like, shit, we just need to do this together. The energy needs to be flowing simultaneously. And all that. So it was just like this rush of emotions and listening to her talk. And it's just like, holy shit, this really freaking landed right now.
Yeah.
And I had these weird sensations in my body. I had to be conscious because I was driving. But I felt it in my gut. I got this weird sensation in my head. I could feel the energies flowing through my crown chakra and all those things. And it was just this interesting space. And then I got to my location where I needed to be, and the energy there was just like so laid back. You know, the family member that was having surgery was so chilled. I mean, totally honored to have been there to witness all that. So yeah, the process has been incredibly interesting.
Yeah.
I want to give you a quick message before we get back to this episode. Unlock the secrets of your soul for free with Soul Notes. Say goodbye to feeling stuck and hello to the validation of your alignment. These weekly prompts are filled with reminders, gentle nudges, and sometimes a kick in the ass, all with love from your soul. Don't just take our word for it. Try Soul Notes for yourself and see the difference it can make in your life. Trust us, your soul and you will thank you. Just go to soulnote.org. That's SOULNOTE.org. Now back to our podcast.
So notice what you're trying to create in your relationship, at your job. Like everything that we do involves other people. Making money, whether it be a job, a business, it all involves other people. So how can you lockstep with whoever is on that vibration with you and move forward? This is an opportunity. It could be a coach, could be a friend, it could be anybody. It could be somebody spiritual. It doesn't have to be a physical being. Whatever you're lockstepping with God, whatever it is, you're locking into that feeling and that vibration of love, of your passion, and moving forward with it. Because, if we both said, okay, we're going to go to, we're Massachusetts people, we're going to go to the Boston Garden and I'll see you there. And then we both just set out. And we might drive different speeds. We might, stop because one of us is hungry. But like to actually end up at the same location, like if you don't have GPS and you don't it's going to take a long time. There's going to be a lot of misses, especially if you don't set what time you're going to get there.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I think for me, the awareness that we were driving in separate vehicles trying to get to the same destination instead of carpooling was a big wake-up call for me.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you can do it. You can agree to meet. But I mean, how many times have you had, that person that's like, oh, yeah, I'll meet you there at 5. And you're like 5:20, 5:30, 5:40. They're, oh, I'm on my way. I'm 5 minutes out. Or, or the friend that you get there right at 5 o'clock. And they're like, where have you been? I've been here 15 minutes. Because they're one of those early people. Mm-hmm. Like... And so now the energies are wonky because somebody had expectations and it wasn't met. And so the energy is not aligned anymore.
The agenda part of things, I think, was when we pivoted and threw it out the window and kind of went with our gut and really trusted the energies and the information that we were getting. Mm-hmm. And that's when it truly landed for us. But being so self-aware of the fact that we were traveling separately was the biggest aha moment for me. Mm-hmm. And since then, I've been working towards it being, staying in the same freaking vehicle, if you will, so that we can get to the end point together and make decisions together. And that's how it works with just about everything in our life. If you're with a partner, that's how it should be. If it's just you're driving that vehicle solid in what it is that you want to create and being laser focused on the steps and what is going to unfold at the same time, because you don't have full control of it. You have to allow for things to kind of, doors to close here, others to open there. So, trusting in all that. And it's been incredible. And I think for us, particularly, our communication style also shifted.
Completely.
So,
and we thought it was pretty damn good before, but
right?
Like when you hit another level, you're like, oh wow. Like the thing is when we get too locked into what those steps are. That's why she said, be laser focused on the steps that are being laid out in front of you, but not controlling them and allowing for other things. because you've never been that person before. You've never been that energy before. You've never been on that frequency before. So you have no idea. You can't use old information to prejudge how this is going to work. This is why a lot of relationships fail, because you had like maybe a crappy relationship, crappy job, crappy whatever, and you take all of that energy into the new one and look for the red flags, and you're so hyper focused on the red flags and what can go wrong and the old hurts that, hey, that's what manifests again. Yeah. Because you can't step into that new relationship in a new way unless you're being a new person and carrying that old baggage. You're just bringing the old with you. And that's why it never seems to manifest, even if you've done a lot of work on yourself. And we also noticed that when it got to that point to say yes to the big thing that had come up, we both agreed. I went and I said the yes for us because I was the most available. And then, okay, now you have to complete these 5 steps. Okay, easy. Start doing them. Roadblock, software fail, talking to customer support, this and that. Like all this stuff started going wrong. And I'm like, am I not supposed to be doing this? Whatever. It's just probably a glitch. And I keep going and I keep going and I'm going to do it. And I get into this doing mode again instead of being super present with what's going on. And I'm like, okay. So I reached out to the person who we were actually co-creating and collabing with. And she's like, every time somebody is super aligned, all these things happen. They like pop up to be like, are you sure you can't go back after you cross this point? And I'm like, yeah, I'm sure. And she's like, okay, then just work it out. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to go for a walk. Came back, tried again, wasn't working. I'm going to sleep on it. I'm going to do it in the morning. And she's like, you have to do it in the morning or the opportunity's gone. I'm like, okay, not a problem. Got up in the morning, done. And I was like, whoa, what I was struggling with yesterday. And the ego was coming up and my mind was going on crack about like, oh, we shouldn't be doing this. These are signs. These are like, see, it's getting hard. It's scary. And yeah, no, like I can do risk. I can do big things.
It's interesting because since I wasn't here, I wasn't privy to what you were doing, and because I was focused on some of the stuff that was going on my end, and I remember at one point thinking, because you had said it's all set,
Yep.
thinking, knowing our situation, thinking, how the fuck did she do it? And then all of a sudden it was just like I heard this voice says, it's none of your business.
I love that.
It just is. And it's going to happen. And it needs to just be what it is. And I'm like, because in the beginning, I was like, I'm in. It was a hard yes for me.
Me too. And then the how came up.
Exactly.
And all the warning bells go off.
Yeah.
So stay out of how.
So when I heard that voice say it's none of your business, I'm like, okay. And so that's when I just surrendered even more than what I already had been, and just allowed and trusted, and I'm really super excited for when we start.
Yeah.
And to see what manifests from that. I know what the want is, but I'm also giving space to what shows up.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah, because that's that fine balance.
Yeah, because your core desire, it's not a thing. Like if you're looking at your goal as, this physical thing looks like this and all this stuff, and not exactly what it feels like, or what it feels like too, but you're more focused on it has to look like that because what that looks like is what it feels like to me. And that's backwards. It's like what it feels like is the thing. And this is the key. This is the simplicity to the whole thing of reality shifting. If it's been hard and you've been working at something or picturing and it's on your vision board and all this stuff, and it's still on your freaking vision board after years, because this has been on our vision board for 19 years.
Yep.
Not that I have a vision board, but the proverbial, my focus for 19 years. And it was like, all right, at 20 years, we should just call it quits. Like, because this is just, it's not happening. And right when we did that, we hit a level of surrender, and then things started falling apart. Then the opportunity presented. Then it got hard again, and then it got hard again, and then it got harder, and then it just all worked out, and it was like, whew. Body buzzing energy, like next level. Like I feel like I'm going to jump out of my skin because I don't even know how to handle this. And then days following, energy crash. Feeling wonky, feeling out of place. Like, what did we just do? Is that causing all this weirdness? Things falling apart, falling out of our life, like rapidly. And we're like, okay, we just set that in motion and we know the old stuff has to fall apart. We've just never seen it so significant so quickly. Like, wow, okay. And this is a big thing with capacity. If you have not watched the August energy update, we're going to tag that up above. As soon as you finish this, you should go watch that because it talks about having the capacity to hold the energy of what you want. You want that big job. You want that awesome relationship. You want next level of yourself, your business. Do you have the capacity to hold that? Bigger energy is more love. It is more joy. It is more of all the good things that you desire. Can you hold that? Your being is not used to holding that. So how are you building that capacity?
Yeah, I mean, for me, my chakras were specifically my sacral was not happy. Like I was getting some digestive issues and all these things while I was deliberately holding space for this family member that was having surgery. And just in general for the family. So, and then I felt like crap. And I'm like, I don't understand what's happening, but I didn't focus on that particular thing. What I did is said, I kept saying to my body, I'm safe. Everything's fine. You're going to be fine. Your family member is going to be fine. The energy around you will be fine. Like I kept reiterating that. Everything is where it needs to be. You are specifically being, letting my body know that I am safe because it was sitting in resistance because it was, there had to be some level of nervousness or fear or something that I wasn't conscious or privy to, but my body was. And I was allowing my body to express itself. Again, back to awareness. When we're aware of our thoughts, our feelings, our body, our emotions, all these things, you automatically know when something's up. Then you allow whatever sensation to go through so that you can let those energies just flow through you. And my experience in the past has been that when I get those feelings, specifically in my gut area, I get super sick. I end up in the hospital.
Yep.
Period. And this time around, it was nothing like that. I quickly went into, the physical things like, clear liquids, things like that, just to support my body in a different way so that it can allow those energies to filter through and expand my body to hold what's coming through. And all this, I didn't have to be in Om state to do this. I was literally consciously just doing it simultaneously despite what was going on around me. And this is the part of awareness that is so key when you feel like somebody just flipped a freaking table on you. And it's not even about that because it isn't somebody else doing it. It's you making choices that have flipped the table because you want something new.
Right.
You desire to be in a certain vibration and feeling. So it's all you challenging yourself to be able to hold those freaking energies that are so massive and really break barriers and beliefs and all these things for you. They really, really, really do. So I remember a lot about how I was feeling during that time. The emotions that were coming up, the body sensations that were happening. And then to boot, even more things happened when I did get back. Then my sister's house was a mess with all this stuff going on for her. So again, energetically supporting as best as I can while also physically helping, and all these different things. And at one of the nights, I remember saying to myself, what am I missing? That this feels a little resistance here. And the voice again says there's absolutely no resistance. That has nothing to do with you.
I had asked the same thing in my situation with what am I missing? And I was told nothing. Why do you always think there's something missing? Just like we always tell you guys, like, why are you always looking for what's broken? What's the next thing to fix? You're whole right now. So why am I thinking something is I'm missing something, or something is missing? It's not. It's all right here for me to access. And how do I do that? Listen to my body. Let it be my tell. How do I do that? I practice being in the vibration I want to be in. How the hell do you do that? Because this is what I used to do. How? Just tell me how and I will do it. Energy needs to be moving. So if you're like in a state, this morning I got up, I didn't want to do anything. I'm like, I'm just going to sit on the couch and be in my mood, and I'm just going to binge Netflix all day, which does not serve me at all whatsoever.
And I'm like this.
And she's like, let's go. We're going to record. And I'm like, really? Like, no, I don't. And I'm like, all right, Carter. And this is where you listen to how you speak to yourself. Are you like, okay, fine, let's just get it done? Like, are you that type of thing? Which is like the child, the parent scolding the child. Or are you like, okay, let's go, we can do it, everything is great and rosy? No, it's not. It's not acknowledging how I'm actually feeling. So that just means energy is stagnant. That's all that means. So how do you get it moving? Something creative. Walking works for me. Dancing, listening to music, drawing, building something, straightening out a shelf, like whatever it may, making your bed might be it. That's just enough energy movement where I'm smoothing out everything that's going on within me. Things will come up too. And this is how you know when you're getting closer and closer to your breakthrough. It is like you take ice cubes and you throw them in a big glass, and they all go right to the bottom, loud and clunky and heavy. But then when you start pouring in, I'm pouring in happiness because I'm seeing beauty over there. That puppy makes me smile. And you're pouring it in, all the ice cubes, all that heavy crap within you starts to rise up to the top. And if you keep pouring, those ice cubes will start flipping over the top of the thing. This is what it's like when you're pouring into your passion, into what you really want, when you're pouring into that new frequency that you want to embody. And then the ice cubes is all your crap coming up to be presented, and it will literally freeze you into a frozen state of not moving because you're afraid to get uncomfortable, or you're tired of being uncomfortable. But it's just presenting for you to clear up all your shit, to react in a different way, to act in a different way, to choose to feel a different way, to learn how to utilize your body to move things, to move that energy through you, not shaming your body when, my, come on, stomach, now's not a good time, or another headache, like, come off it. I take the supplements and I do the things. Like, it's about the things, but it's not about the things. Exactly. It's about whatever things in the moment put you in the best mood, the best vibration, and how you're prioritizing that, instead of prioritizing what that end goal is, and that's what it has to look like, so that's what I'm doing. It's a slight shift where you start, when you think beyond the limitations of what you're seeing around you and start feeling into what you want. That's the simple shift. Feeling into what you want and following those breadcrumbs, drop by spirit, drop by your body, drop by your intuition, like led by your soul. All right, so your mission right now is to go watch the August energy update. It's on the end cap. We'll post it above as well. Please go watch that, because that is your next step to building this capacity.
Be kind.
Peace.